They told us to give a disclaimer. The views expressed on this podcast are those of the podcasters, any guests, and do not reflect any of the management, owners, sponsorships, or employees of thereof. Pretty much, if you're soft, don't listen to this podcast.
One thing I pride myself on is just being the same and trying to look out for my folks along the way.
Like, even with all these, big things happening, like, you still mad humble, and you still, like, you have enough clout now where you could easily be like, I'm not fucking with this, I'm not fucking with that.
Oh yeah, motherfuckers, it's on.
Unrestricted Podcast listeners, thank you so much for clicking play. Because of you, those numbers are going up, up, and up. Make sure you are subscribing on YouTube. Share it with a friend. If you want to make a monetary donation, you can go on to allrock.com. That's ALLRAWK.com. Get a t-shirt, get a hoodie. We here in Salt Lake City, the weather is forever changing. It might be June, but it's still snowing. Today, I got a very special guest across from me. Well, two. Somebody that reached out in my DMs. Somebody that has been aggressively trying to make his voice heard in this city. Kaygo The Kid, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And alongside him is this wifey?
Yes, sir.
His wife, Mocha.
Yep.
Even though she's vanilla.
Mm-hmm.
How many times do you wake up and be like, I'm vanilla, baby?
Every day.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I tried it. It didn't work. And then I was like, I'm cappuccino, baby. I tried to make it work, but it didn't work.
Oh my God.
Kaygo, man, I want to learn more about you. Who is Kaygo The Kid?
Kaygo The Kid is a family man, musician, entrepreneur, someone who really cares about people and his community, especially people that are around him. You know what I mean? Just really want to show people that you can follow your dreams, do what you want to do. I know that's like a very vague answer or, statement, follow your dreams. Everybody says that, but I have noticed some things where it's like, whether there's my parents or people that I were around that are just like living a life that they don't want to live. And I want to show people that you can do what you want to do. You just have to actually believe that you can do it.
What is that life?
That life is just like, you know what I mean? Like, for me, example wise, it's just like, I want to be able to express my story and let kids know that, like, you're not alone in this world, and there's people who've gone through what you've probably gone through. Because I've gone through like a lot of shit growing up. So I know that there's someone out there who's either had it worse than me or at least been through the similar struggles that I have, and I want to let them know, like, don't be afraid to voice that and don't bottle that in, because that can really do damage. I used to bottle that in like a fuck ton, and then now it's like I'm more expressive about it. It's just, it feels nice to get it off my chest, and you know what I mean. And it's not like I'm trying to get like people to look at me and be like, oh, look at him, oh, feel bad for him. Like, nah, it's just like I try to explain that to people to let them know, like, this is why I am who I am. This is what makes me say the things I say or do the things that I do. So that's mostly what I'm trying to do, is just show people you know what I mean, you're not alone, and also just bring fun. You know what I'm saying? I like fun.
Who are you from Utah?
I was actually born in Indianapolis, moved to Chicago, lived there for a little bit, but majority of my life I've been actually here in Utah. We came to Utah because my brother needed heart surgery. So I guess Utah had one of the best heart surgeons here, so we came over to Utah, and then I also got adopted here. So I've been here since after I got adopted, which was like 6 years old.
So you got adopted at 6 years old?
Yes.
Is biological brother?
Half brothers, two different dads.
Okay, so but you guys got adopted together?
Yeah.
Oh, that's dope.
So I have like a fuck ton of brothers. Let's see, like 3 or 4 brothers, but only 2 of us got adopted together. The rest went somewhere else.
Were you adopted by a Utah family?
Yes.
And what was that experience like? I mean, 6 years old, you're what, first grade? You're coherent. You know what's kind of, you remember these things.
Oh yeah, 100%.
So what's the feeling like getting adopted?
Honestly, for the first while, it was like great because, it got me out of the environment I was in. It was like the best thing that ever happened to me at the time. I still, to this day, I went through a whole thing growing up with my adoptive parents where, but at the same time, it's like now, like, I'm older and I get to look back on that. I was like, you know what? It was still better than what I was in beforehand. And I think it was more of a culture shock for my family who adopted me, because their background is country and living on a ranch and farming, and my background was being in the city, in the hood, all that shit. So just having that crossover and trying to like learn how to raise me and my brother and trying to get used to what we're used to, but also trying to tell us how we need to get used to what they're used to. You know, it was a lot of back and forth growing up. It was like really bad trying to figure that balance out.
I'm assuming, is it a Caucasian family?
Yes.
How was that dynamic of, you know, having white parents?
It was. What exactly do you mean?
As somebody that doesn't know, I grew up with a single black father. My mom's Mexican. I don't know what it's like to grow up with parents that don't look like me, but I have a white wife, so we have mixed kids. So I understand the looks that we get when we walk into a crowd. So what I'm wondering is, as a young kid, did you feel that?
Oh, 100%.
And with the Utah family, there's also, and I don't know if your family's religious, but there's also the Mormon religion that runs prominent in our state. And so my question for you is, did you feel that? Did you understand it? Or was it just like, nah, I got a mom and a dad. I got parents that love me. I'm learning how to live this ranch life. You know, like, so I'm wondering the dynamic there.
100%. It was, I noticed everything. It was like a huge struggle. I noticed I couldn't even, like, it was, I think me and my brother, we were like 12, 13. We went into Zoomies, walking in the mall. An officer was following us the whole time until my mom spoke to us. And then they was like, oh, that's their kids. Like, so, like, I've experienced the way people look at us, the weird looks, asking, is the bill separate? And it's like, we're like little kids. Like, what do you mean the bill's separate? Yeah. But just having that, it was definitely hard because it was also like with the mindset of like, yes, I have two great parents, but what would life be if I had my mom and my mom didn't do the things she did and my dad was still alive? Like, what if these things went the right way? What would my life like be then? What was my culture like? Because that's another thing, is that like I also, where I was stripped at a young age, it was hard for me to understand the culture. And so that was also the hard thing that my family, my white family, would try to make sense of. That me and my brother, we would, you know, be on YouTube, watch videos, and just trying to figure out hair and just everything and being a part of that. And then they wouldn't understand that because they're like, what are you doing? But we're like, this is what people say is our culture. We're not 100% sure because we haven't been in it too long to know. And we're just trying to fit in with both sides, you know, fit in with the white kids at school and stuff like that. And the bounce off of the whole Mormon thing, you know, my parents told me that they noticed a lot changed in our church. So this is why we stopped going to church. I haven't been to church since this day. My parents said before they adopted us, the bishop would always hold the door open for them, hold the door open for everyone. After we got adopted and we started showing up to church, he would hold open the door for everyone, but when we showed up, he'd leave. So they said that maybe they didn't think too much about it after going 4 more times and noticed that it was a consistent thing, and noticed that it was like he would do it right in front of us to let the one person in and then purposely just walk away. Well, that's when they're like, yeah, we're not going to church no more. Like, that's not cool. Like, if they're not going to accept that we have black children, then we're not going to go there. So there was some things that like I did respect of my parents, because I knew that that was another thing too, because where they also don't know too much about black culture and everything, they were really strict. And so they knew what white people thought of black people. So they were really strict on what I could do growing up. So that was also hard because I felt like I couldn't be me at the same time. I couldn't do the things that I wanted to do.
Well, when you say strict, are they restricting you from, like, is it like listening to certain music, going to certain things?
Listening to certain music sometimes, going to hang out with kids. It was dating, you know, if you're going to date a girl, make sure ask them, does your parents like black people? Like, ask them that. If you're dating a white girl, that was their whole thing. White girls like to get black boys in trouble. So that was their whole thing. And so I grew up with that like mindset. So even with Moccah, that was the first thing I was like, did your parents like black people? And she was like, why would you ask me that? Or I wouldn't be with you.
Did you say no?
I was just like, they don't give a shit.
That's good. I think that your parent, you know, your parents, right?
Yeah. I
think a lot of that's valid, because there's certain songs that when my son's listening to it, I'm like, yo, like, what are you listening to? What are you doing with that? If he has a little, even the way he walks, I'm like, why are you walking like that? That's not how you walk. Like, what's going on? You're mimicking what you're seeing, and what you're seeing isn't probably the best example, right? And as somebody that grew up in the 80s and 90s, there was examples set. I was literally just having this conversation with Waldo, that there was examples set that were acceptable back then that's not now. So as a parent myself, I understand your parents. They were coming from it as parents of kids that aren't the same racism. They understand the cruel world, but also they're coming at it as just regular parents that they want the best for you too.
Oh, exactly.
Did you understand that, or was
at the time I did not? At the time I was just like, I got black friends who've, I had black friends that had their families. So just seeing like how they grew up is like, they get to go do this. Like, they can have dreads. Why can't I have dreads? They get to have braids. Why can't I have braids? And, just things to that nature. And I was just like, it's unfair. Like, I want to be a part of everybody else. And because it just felt like this culture thing that, like, I don't know. It was just going from being at a school with a bunch of white kids and then going to go hang out with some black friends. Completely different dynamic.
What county did you grow up in? Where was city?
Utah County. I lived in Cedar Fort, Utah, but I went to Westlake High School in Saratoga Springs.
Oh, okay.
So
there's very slim pickings of black out there.
90% of us are adopted over there.
Really?
Yeah. If you're not adopted, that means your family's like from Africa. So that's like the whole thing. Like, if you're adopted, that means you're like African American. You were born in the United States. If you're not adopted, you came from Africa and you made your way over here somehow. I don't know. What was
you mentioned you got brothers. Do you have any sisters?
I have one sister.
One sister. And where do you fall in the age of your brothers and sisters?
Weird, like middle child almost.
Okay.
Middle child, but also youngest at the same time.
Do you, because you're the most immature?
Not even that. Surprisingly, no. The older ones are the immature ones.
It's usually how it works. So you get adopted, you move to Utah, you're learning this dynamic with your parents. What was school like?
School was very, very interesting because you couldn't, as a black kid growing up in a white school, you can't defend yourself or you don't fit in. And that's the hard thing too, because it's like, do I defend myself and be like, no, that's racist, or like, no, you don't talk to me like that, or don't say those things because I don't appreciate those things. And then everybody thinks that you're crazy because you have also other black kids there that don't care when people say certain things. So that's another thing that's hard, is that you have no backup when you get offended by certain things. And so it's like, do I say nothing and just make sure I have friends, or do I say something and have no friends? And that was the hard part. So, and of course I went the route of say nothing and to have friends because I wanted to fit in. I knew what it was like growing up, not really trying to, like, especially in high school. So just going through elementary and middle school, just not like feeling that I had like a friend group or people that wanted to hang out with me. Like middle school was like terrible for me, but so in like high school, it was like, this is my chance to just fit in with everybody, make some friends, and don't ruin that by your feelings. It's not that serious, because that's how they basically put it. Is like, it's not that serious, bro. Like, it's just a word, or
if you can say it, why can't I say it?
Exactly. Yeah. And that's another thing too. Is like, I don't really try to say it too much.
Yeah.
Like, I have said it. I won't say it. I won't lie. I do have songs where I do say it, but I try not to, because of that reason. And I'm gonna be a victim of this, you know what I mean? I told him at that time, because like I said, I was trying to fit in. I told him, if you hear me say it, I don't care. But if I'm not saying it and you just start throwing it around, I'm gonna be mad, because it's like, why, if you want to go by that statement of, if you can say, why can't I say it? Then okay, if I said it, then fair enough. That's fair rules in my mind. That's how everybody was. So I was like, if you say it, or if I say it, go ahead. But if I'm not saying it and then you're just throwing it around, and that was my biggest problem too, because it was just like, they were throwing it around more than I would throw it around. And that's where it was like, okay, that's a problem. But at the same time, like I said, I was just trying to fit in. So I really try to ignore it. And that also kind of like, today is a few problems, because like, now that I have a son, right, it's like I'm trying to get rid of that attitude. And because it's like, I don't want nobody treating my son like that as a black young man, because growing up I knew what it felt like. He's not going to have that, and I'm not going to let anyone talk to him like that, and he's going to tell me if anyone does. If he doesn't, how could you know? But still, I'm gonna try and raise him to the point. We are trying to raise him to the point where he feels open to be like, I was called this. What should I do?
Yeah.
So
there's things. You're young, right? You're young, and there's things that you learn along the way. There's things that today you're not going to be okay with in 4 years.
Oh, 100%.
Especially being a father. You know what I mean? It's a cool thing where you get to learn yourself. Even though there was one, you know, we talk about regret, right? There's one moment that was pivotal for me, and it was a moment where I chose to go and be selfish on one thing instead of standing with my friends on another. And it's kind of the same thing where it's like, in today, I'm not going to just let nobody talk the way they want to, right? There's going to be some type of respect level. And as a father, you teach your kids that don't let nobody disrespect you. You know, there's a healthy balance between not being machismo, not being macho man, but also standing your ground to things.
Exactly.
Right? And these are all lessons that we have to learn. So being a father now, you have the opportunity to teach.
Exactly.
Your sensei. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
So did you end up graduating?
Yeah, I actually graduated junior year. I got lucky on some credits.
Fucking nerd.
Actually, no. Okay. So this is another thing, right? Where the strict part comes in. I was making music in high school. My parents didn't like that. They didn't want me to make music. It was kind of funny. They were like, because at the time when you're young, you're going to rap about what the rappers are rapping about. So that was the problem. They didn't like that. So then I was like, okay, I'm going to make it PG. I'm not going to swear. I'm not going to do nothing that. So I was like, as long as I'm making music, I just want to be a part of music, because this has like been something that I feel like has saved me from so much shit. So I'm just like, all right, I'll switch up my entire style just to make you guys happy. Like, I just want to do music. I don't care what type it is. Just let me make music. And so I ended up switching it up. They still didn't accept that at the time. And then I was like, all right, fuck it. And then I went back to making the really bad shit, talking about fucking bitches, doing drugs. I didn't do none of those things. Yeah. I was like, this is all the rappers are rapping about. And, you know, it was like 2016.
I'm still a virgin.
Bro, I was called Virgin Lips for the longest time. I didn't even get a kiss yet. So, like, but they didn't approve of that. And then, you know, some shit went down. And then I got sent to a wilderness program. And so I spent 3 months in a wilderness program, which the funny thing about that is because the things you have to do in there, they can give that to your school and that gives you credits. So like just being outside, learning how to make a fire, like all this stuff, earth science credits. Learning, we had to sit there and write in a journal every night. You get English credits, just like all these credits they give you. And I'm like, that's kind of weird, but that's cool too.
Sound like the cheat code.
Exactly. But that was like an awesome experience, but at the exact same time, the worst experience of my entire life. Because I felt like I learned a lot being there in the aspect of like, if I'm ever in the wilderness, like I left with like, she'll be driving, I'll be like, that's a yucca plant. She's like, what are you talking about?
She pulls over, fucking nerd.
I'm like, why do I care?
So these are things we need to learn though, right?
He's like, I could make a fire with that.
I was like, you see this blister right here?
That's like my MMA friends. They all do jujitsu and shit. They're like, if I wanted to, Dre, I could choke you with that chain around your neck right now. Damn, all right.
Yeah, it was like cool experience, but then also it was a really bad experience because it's a sexual based program, which I think my parents, they told me that they had asked my younger brother's parents about it, because I guess my younger brother, he was getting into really bad shit, and so they sent him to programs. So they asked his parents about where they sent him, and they told him about that place. So they sent me there, and yeah, when I got out, I was like, you guys, if you wanted to send me, you could have sent me to a detention center if you really would. Like, you sent me to the wrong place.
What do you mean by sexual?
Kids who have either molested their brothers and sisters, other kids, things like that, like really bad stuff. I've heard the most wickedest stories of what kids have done. And, you know, at the same time, it was pretty cool to watch how, like, what made them get to that position. Like it had to start like my father molested me, which then made me think that was okay thing to do, and I did it to others. And so it's like, it's kind of hard because it's like some people looked at them like these are terrible kids, but it's like, nah, they were just taught the wrong thing growing up, and now this is how they became like, because as a person who's not around it and you never had it happen to you before, and you just hear stuff on the internet like, or women or men talking about like how I was raped, and then it's like, oh, that's so gross, and you think really bad about the person who did it, but then you also, no one ever thinks about how did that person ever get the mindset like that. You just think that they're mentally ill and crazy, but when you really think about it, it's like, no, it's a whole like generations, like there was family members that did it to them, which got them into it, or there's like porn that got them into it. It's just like wild shit. And it was kind of funny because they all were telling me like, when you get in there, I didn't know where I was going. This is the funniest fucking story that I have, right? So we got kicked out and we went to my brother's friend's house. We stayed there for a week. One day, the police knocked on the door and they're like, they said my name and I was like, yeah, this is me. And they're like, is your brother here? And I was like, yeah, my brother's here. And they're like, you're coming with us. And I was like, can I finish my bagel sandwich? Because I made a bagel sandwich before. I was like, can I finish my bagel sandwich? And they're like, no, you can't. You got to go with us. And then I heard, took another bite, and they went to restrain me for it. So I realized, like, no, I'm good. I'll go get my brother.
Damn, man. Was it worth it?
To me, it was.
The sandwich was smacking?
When I went to the wilderness program, I wish I finished it. No, because like when they take you, right, you're driving, and then they're like, you hungry? You want something to eat? Like, they're the nicest people too. It's just like their job is just to pick up kids and take you to the place. Like, so they don't. They're like on their outside jobs. They're like bodyguards and stuff. So they're like they're just doing a job.
It's
like
a side hustle for
like
them.
a side hustle job. So it's like he's like, you want McDonald's? What do you want? I was like, nah, it's okay. Because also the way I was raised by my parents is like, they're like, don't, because I used to be a beggar and like, but that's also comes with like traumatic experience of like being homeless before and not having food. So I would go up to people like anytime I was hungry and just be like, please, I'm homeless. And my parents would be like, you're not homeless anymore. like they're like, you need to stop doing that.
Kaygo, you are a character, bro.
So I'm a wild person. If these stories I have, man. But when I got when I got older, I stopped doing that. So like my mindset was like, when somebody offers me something, always respectfully decline. Like, it's not their job to do that. So I was like, no, it's good. And he's like, bro, quit being a bitch. This is a company card. Get what you want. And I was like, oh, okay. So we get to McDonald's, but I only got one thing. I was like, I'm not gonna run it up. It's a company's card. I don't know where I'm going. I don't know what this guy is. I really wish I ran it up. Like, I should have ran it up so bad. Because when you get there, they give you like a chicken can, some rice and lentils, like 2 oranges, an apple, and then like a big block of cheddar cheese.
Oh, man.
And they're like, when you get here, don't share your cheese with anybody and hide your cheese. That's a gold mine out here. I'm like, what are you talking about? It's just cheese. Yeah, I was one of those people who wanted to steal someone else's cheese. Like, it was wild. Like, there's a lot of things that happen where your brain just switches. Like, I saw a kid, now to me, I'm used to like seeing a potato cooked. Never seen someone bite a raw potato and just eat it down like that. Kid was sitting there just eating it. I'm like, yeah, what are you doing? He's like, tastes like a marshmallow. I was like, what are you talking about? I was like, how long you been here? He's like, 2 years. I'm like, I'm not staying here. I'm not staying here that long. He's like, give it 2 months. And I was like, nah, you crazy, bro. 2 months. I was like, this dude tastes like a marshmallow. This shit good. I'm like, pass me another potato.
Marshmallow. That's crazy. How long did you end up in the wilderness camp?
Just 3 months, about 3 months. That's long, but a lot went down. Like, I've seen kids try to like kill themselves in there. Like, it's wild. But it's just funny because it's just like the first half was funny because like when my older brother Cornelius, he's been on a lot of programs and he's been locked up and he's told me stories. He's like, when you go in there, be a hard head. Don't let nobody fuck with you. So that's where I thought I was going. So when I woke up, because they drive for a long time, so you fall asleep and you don't know where you are. So you're in the middle of nowhere. But when I woke up, I was like, oh, this is Holes, basically. Like, I thought this was the movie Holes. So I'm like, okay, I'm punching the first person I see. So when I get out the car, I just see a bonfire with like people around in a circle. I'm like, where the hell am I? Like, I was like, this is not what my brother was talking about. And then I got close and they're like, yeah, it felt like school. It was so weird. It was like, yeah, just say why you're here and how old you are and where you're from. Yeah, it's kids from all over the place. Like, there's kids from Minnesota, Arizona, Chicago. It was like kids from all over the states come to St. George, Utah for this thing. And like some of them, they got like wild stories on like how they woke up. They're like, yeah, my parents told me we were going to Disneyland. We got to the airport and they left me with some guys.
Damn.
And then just dipped.
I think that would fuck me up even more.
Oh, the things that I like, they said these kids told me like when they told me how they call it gooning, I guess. So they're like, yeah, when we got gooned, I was like, yeah, you got gooned way worse than I did. Like I was awake and they're just like getting the cars and I followed. But
do you think it was beneficial?
Being there?
Yeah.
I think it was beneficial in other parts of my mind. Like as in like it sharpened my brain with skills I didn't know. It made me think about certain things on how I talk to people. They talked about like being a passive aggressive person. There was like these names that they had. I totally forgot what they are, but basically just communication wise, like when you're angry, don't yell, like communicate, talk about it, take a second, think about what the root of the problem is, and like just like communication strongly. And so it was just like learning the way they teach, because they also, now I want to call it cap, but they say that a lot of their things they learn are from like Indian tradition, or not Indian, Native American traditions. And so that's where they like draw a lot of their inspiration from, or say. And so they're like, yeah, this is how you need to talk, or this is how you need to do things. Or, you know, there's a lot of things where it's like, okay, I can see like where you guys are talking about my parents and what maybe they're going through and how I'm acting. You know what? Yeah, I could see how like I'm being a shithead a little bit, and I could be better. But the one problem I will say that they had really bad is that they play the parent side extremely hard. They do not care what the kid says. So of course, like it was to the point they made me feel like everything was my fault. Every little thing. There was one staff member, he was the coolest person ever. He would basically come up to me and he's like, he was the only one who believed me for the first 2 months. And it took them all the way to like close to the end of my stay to actually believe like I wasn't there for like sexual stuff, and also just believe like I was in the wrong place, because they're like, he's like, you work hard, like these kids, he's like, this place is for kids who don't do anything. Like the fact that you're picking up wood, you're digging holes, and you're just like helping around, like you don't belong here. Like you need to go somewhere else, but you're already here and we can't do anything about that. So while you're here, try and learn something. So that's how I was able to learn something, because after being told that, I was like, you know what, I guess since I'm like, there's nothing I can do, you know what I mean? I'm already here. So yeah, learn something. So that's what I tried to do the best of. And he was the only one, like I said, he was the only one who believed me. He was just like, yeah, bro, if you want to do music, do music. If you have to wait till after your parents when you're out of your parents' house, then do that, because you don't want to keep getting yourself in this position. They're like, you're 16, you're getting older, so you know you'll get there. Like, if you have to miss out on a few years, it's okay, but don't fight them on it, because you're not gonna win that battle. And he's like, he told me like a story about when he moved out. He basically told his mom like, because he wanted to do what he was doing basically, and his parents were like, no, you're not gonna go help kids and do that. That's weird. Like those kids are bad kids. Like you're not. He's like, no, I believe like there's something that led them to do it, and I think they can change. And you know, this is the place for them to have that second chance to change. And when they leave here, they're changed and they never do it again, and nobody needs to know about it. Or you know, if they don't change, then, you know, at that point, we can't take them back. That means they're going to like somewhere worse than us. Yeah. But he told me when he moved out, and he basically told his parents, like, look, you're not going to be in my life if you can't accept it. And he said after like 2 years of just not talking to his mom and not including her or anything, she wanted to be a part of it and say, you know what, I'm going to accept who you are, and this is what you want to do, and I'm going to support it. And, you know, that's kind of what happened with my parents. You know, we got in a huge fight, and I didn't talk to them for 2 years. We just started talking last year in 2023 around this time. And, you know, our relationship got a lot better, and, you know, they're trying to learn about it. It was kind of the funniest thing that happened. She felt bad for me because I won a competition. I don't know if you know who Caleb Miser is, but he throws like little artist competitions to perform for bigger artists than when he brings out artists. So in the summer, Polo G came out, and I won that competition. So I got to open for Polo G. And I went to my parents. I was like, I opened for Polo G. And they're like, who's that? I was like, I was like, this was the biggest accomplishment of my whole life in music. Because, you know, to me, it's like being told that this is a hobby. You're not going to make it. This is not something that could happen for anybody. You know, there's a million people in music. Like, what makes you special? Stuff like that. And just to have that opportunity happen and just be like, it's going somewhere, you know. I never, you know, I was like 16 sitting in the bedroom watching him rap on YouTube, and now I'm performing on the same stage he is. And to bring that to my parents and them be like, who is that? He's not that big if we don't know. I was like, damn.
Well, you got to think too, like it's an education thing too, right? Right. Like if your parents want to embrace you and who you are and what inspires you, they will. If they don't, they don't. It is what it is. Some parents will get it. Some parents won't. You know, growing up, thank goodness I had a dad that was very musically inclined. Everything from Earth, Wind, and Fire to Bob Marley to Celine Dion to Selena to Tupac to Biggie. You know, my dad has it all. So I'm thankful and I'm grateful that I had a dad like that. But for your parents, they just don't know. They just 100%. Don't know. Like you said, they come from a ranch.
Exactly. They were heavily 80s music and country music.
Yeah.
So when rap came in the picture, they're like, whoa. Bad.
What was your introduction to hip hop?
My brother Cornelius, growing up before I was adopted, he listened to a lot of Lil Wayne, Boosie Badass, Wiz Khalifa, 2 Chainz, and then when I got adopted, their biological son, he would play a lot of like Yellow Wolf, MGK, Migos, Chief Keef, and so just like listening to that really got me interested into it, but I never really wanted to act on it or anything. But like that got me more interested into poetry and writing poems and writing books and stuff. So, and then my 4th grade teacher, shouts out to her. I had like really bad anger issues, and then she's like, every time you're mad, just write a poem. And so she would let me go in the corner and just write poems and write books and stuff. And I got to like staple them and put them, and like other kids got to read them and stuff, and it was pretty cool. But what really like made me put my foot down and just like jump is when I hit 7th grade. There was a kid named Darian. Shouts out to him. I will always give him props because I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing today if he didn't say what he said. But it's kind of funny because, like I said, we're young kids. We're just trying to copy everyone. This was 2016 where rap music and SoundCloud was at its peak. And so Lil Pump, he can do this. We could do it too. It's that simple. Just repeat ourselves. We'll get girls. We'll get money. Let's do it. So my first song was like a Magnolia remix of Playboi Carti. Terrible song. But we did it for a little while. There was a kid who would pencil tap, and then we would do like rap battles and outside, and it was like the coolest thing. And then after he left, because he moved, my 8th grade year, that's kind of where everything went downhill for me because I was like my only friend group at that time, like heavy friend group. And there was times where I was like, I'm gonna quit music because, you know, my parents didn't like it and I didn't want to get in trouble anymore. But it was just a bunch of back and forth through middle school, high school, of just saying like, I'm gonna quit. No, I'm not. I'm gonna quit. No, I'm not. Because I just like, I didn't want to, but I felt like I had to because I didn't want to make my parents mad at me. And he was just like, no, you got to keep going. You got to keep going. You got to keep going. If anyone's got it, it's you. And then I'm like, but I'm not that good. It's like, and then I met another kid named Alan Schufelt. He pulled up into my life in 8th grade. It was funny. It was like I posted on my story one day. I was like, I'm done making music. And he responded. He's like, no, bro, I'm like your 5 listeners. No. he's like, you know, those 5 streams on SoundCloud, that's me, bro. And I was like, oh, I thought I was repeating it. I thought that was me. He's like, no, bro, I'm listening. Don't quit. He's like, matter of fact, let me make music with you. So, and then I started making music with him for a little bit. And then he ended up stopping, and then I stopped again, and then I came back. And then when I went to high school sophomore year, I dropped a 2003 album, which you can't find now because I took it all down. But I dropped an album, and that really like went peak in high school because all these kids, it was kind of cool because it's like, that's when I really got better at music at the time. And nobody knew who I was because all the kids I went to middle school with with, they went to the other high school that newly got built, and I went to where my dad was teaching in Westlake High School. So I went to that school. So it was a whole new crowd of people who didn't know who I was, and so it was like the awesome feeling that people were like, "Oh, you make music?" Oh, and so it gave me the most like popularity, I guess. But then after a while, people were like, "Oh, you're not really doing nothing with it." So then
were you not doing anything with it?
As in like I wasn't blowing up. Like I'm not doing shows and stuff like that. Like I wasn't big or nothing. It was just like I would just post the music, and then it was kind of funny because it's like they're like, "Oh, you don't got money? Like you're not making money?" Or like because everybody has their certain perspective on it, and I was like, "No, it's a whole process." Because like when you're the viewer watching it and you don't know much about it, you're just kind of like, "How you not there? Like you're just a wannabe. Like this is stupid." But when you're behind the scenes, it's like, no, you have to take these necessary steps to get to the money part. And so like after a while when they noticed that, they're like, "Oh, so you're just like my friend over here who can make music too. Okay, whatever, cool." And then just that like dropped. And then I was like, all right, all I got is football. And I barely even had that. So because I did not like my coaches. They would say that, "Oh, you gotta do this, and then you do it, and then they're like, all right, we're gonna put in our starter who didn't show up the whole week because they were sore."
Yeah, that's the part of the game with football. That's the coach's favorites, right?
100%.
That's a thing. So you get a little traction in high school. You're in, you're out. You're in, you're out. You graduate junior year. Are you still making music going from turning into an adult? So
when I graduated junior year, I did stop music. Or no, I made 2 more songs, and then I ended up stopping. And then I started a clothing brand with Moccah here. Our first clothing brand was called Historia.
Well, let's backtrack just a little bit. How did you two meet?
Boom. So one day I was like, the culture in high school, right? Everybody wants to kiss, everybody wants to make out, everybody wants to have sex, all that stuff. So I was like, I haven't done it yet. Somebody help me get there. And then
you were begging for sex. Well, he was begging for food. It was a begging for a sandwich. Like, will you please give me the pussy?
I wasn't going around like that, but like I had like a friend. He's like, we're gonna go to this party and we're all gonna get some and whatever. And then
you were on a mission. Moccah was the mission.
And then next day they're like, everybody's talking about, I got some. And they're like, did you? I was like, no. And they're like, how the hell you did? They're like, Zach got some. And Zach is like, he was, I guess, our ugly friend in the group. So they're like, if he got some, how did you not get some? I was like, I don't know. I didn't like talking to women. It's like, how do you even approach that? Like,
did you not, growing up, obviously you grew up with parents that were married, but did Pops not have game?
It was be nice to people. That was about it. It was like if I got a girlfriend, that's where the game was. Like this is how you treat them when you have them, not how to get to it.
Yeah.
So, but then one day I was like, all right, guys, y'all need to help me find a girlfriend. I'm tired of like doing this, and I don't want to grow. I don't want to grow younger than or the same age as me because for some reason it feels like the same age. They're like all immature, and then I was like. And the younger ones, they don't really know nothing yet. So, like, if they're a year younger than me, that's fine. I don't care because, like, then they'll be influenced by me because they don't know much yet. And or I need someone who's older that's more mature and, could lead me. And they're like, download Yubo. And I was like, okay. So I made an account on Yubo and I was scrolling through accounts and then I came past her account.
And you're 16, 17?
Was 17.
Okay.
And I was scrolling and I came past her account and her like bio said, here's my Snapchat me if you're not scared. And I was like,
Moccah was throwing herself out there.
My sister dared me to download it. So I downloaded it for like an hour, made like a profile and just put my Snapchat in it and never looked back.
Yeah, you said you deleted it after that.
Yeah, I deleted it.
Hey, Kaygo, turn that knob down there. I want that mic. Or yeah, Moccah, if you would turn that, I want that mic to just drop just a little bit. There you go. Yeah, I want people to be able to hear you.
There we go. But then he added my Snapchat, and I usually don't. I like had so many people. I don't I didn't ever like accept it. But his name was Kaygo The Kid. And I was like, who the fuck does this kid think he is, calling himself Kaygo The Kid? Like, the audacity. So I added him back because I was like, low-key just trying to like troll him, be like, really, dude? Like that. And then, I don't know. I thought he was cute. So I just kept talking to him.
I sent a Snapchat and I said, you. Like I sent a picture of this, like, cause I screenshot it and said, you said, don't be afraid. And I was like, I'm not afraid. And so I said, so what's up?
Did you finish it with to take a stand? Everybody come hold my hand. We'll walk this world together. Sorry, Eminem reference. I'm an old dad. I'm a washed up old dad. I'm probably old enough to be your guys' parents. So you guys are starting to talk.
Yeah.
Does he have game?
No.
He didn't?
At first, he like...
It was because I looked like Chance the Rapper with the hat I was wearing at the time.
It's not that he looked like Chance the Rapper, but he had like that type of like...
Vibe?
Like hat. And I don't know, I just liked it. Like I never see people like dress like that. And so I kind of liked it because it was like refreshing.
Are you in Utah County at the way?
I was in West Jordan.
Okay.
So I was like 40 minutes away. And all my school was just like, I don't know, just like white boys and skinny jeans and just like, I don't know. I thought he had like a vibe that was like different than like all the boys that I went to school with. But, yeah, no, he didn't have game. I blew him off a bunch. He always like was like, come hang out. And I would like always blow him off. And then...
No, that's the funny part. That was my fault. I know exactly why I got blowed up. Like now, I know exactly what I did wrong.
You sent a dick pic too early.
No, hell no.
I was not one of those kids. Hell no, I was not one of those kids. I'm just like,
Block.
who has the balls to do that? That's crazy. Like, bro, it's just like.
What did you do? What had you mess it up?
At the time, I was heavy into smoking weed, and I guess she wasn't. And so, like, I would send videos of myself, like, high, and just be like, come hang out.
Looking like a dweeb.
It was like my homies. I was like, we're at a fire right now. Come hang out with us. Because my friends were like, that's game. So I was like, come out. And then she's like, no, my best friend, Kyla, she just got broken up with, and I feel bad for her, and she's crying really bad, and I'm gonna help her. Come to find out, that
lying.
She's a lesbian.
Oh.
So I was just like, damn, I feel bad. Like I'm acting a fool. I feel like an asshole. So I was like, yeah, take care of that. And then after I had like a bad experience, and then I quit weed after then, and then that's when she kind of started talking to me a lot more. But one day I was like, you be my girl. Messed up so hard. Don't ask. For people out there, if you want a girlfriend, do not text them online and ask. Do it in person. But that's what I did.
Have you guys went on a date yet?
No.
We
haven't even met in person yet.
technically started dating like 3 days before we met in person. But it was like hard because like I was trying to like figure out how, because he lived like 40 minutes away from me.
Yeah.
And I'm in high school. So I'm like, how am I going to tell my dad that I want to go drive my car 40 minutes away to meet this kid? Like, that would never fly. So, like, I was just trying to, like, figure out a way to, like, get that far without, like, getting in trouble and without telling my parents what I was doing.
And you don't got a car at this time?
Nope. I didn't even have my permit yet. I got my permit literally, like, right before I moved out.
First part of game, children... Make sure you got your shit together.
Yeah. Have a car.
Hey, or find someone
or
who's willing
license.
To get you.
So you guys meet, you guys start dating, there's a connection. How long until you guys start this clothing brand are you guys together?
Like 3-4 months after.
Few months. We started dating in
January.
And that was the year we graduated. So, but we had the brand in school still.
Yeah, so we started in school. So it was like
probably only like 2 or 3 months.
Like April. So like, yeah, not that long.
We started it.
And then that only lasted like 2 months because we had a design that people said looked like swastikas for some reason.
Did it look like swastikas?
Not to me.
Not really.
Not to me. I think it was just.
Can you pull it out?
It was just.
I want to see this.
I think it's like if you're like far away and you're not really like looking at it, you could be like, what? And then like you look at it and you're like, never mind.
Because I was trying to go for like a Champion remake.
You were like, nah, man, it's the Hindu symbol for peace.
Well, no, she can explain what Historia means better than me. I always got it wrong when I was trying to. The way I promoted it to people bought it, and then she would try to promote it her way, and people were like, "That's boring." But it's like when I try to promote it your way, people didn't like it. They were like, "That was like
two different places though." You were in Utah County.
Yeah, so I was doing it and selling in my high school. And
I
she was
sold the most, but
cap.
That's besides the point.
So how take me through, what was the name of the brand?
Historia.
What inspired Historia other than swastikas?
I don't know. It was like such a fast, stupid brand, to be completely honest. Like our whole, like when we started dating, it consisted of his parents still didn't want him doing music, right? So all of our first dates was me driving him.
Oh, that's swastika. No, to be honest with you, I'm gonna be honest with you. It gives me Donovan Mitchell Spider logo feels.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Donovan Mitchell.
That's fair enough. That's
Spider-Man type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, everyone's like, that's a swastika. You can't be wearing that. It's like, my teacher told me to take it off.
So you say it was an early first brand. I mean, usually your first brand's kind of like you're getting your foot through the door. But what was there other? Was it streetwear that inspired this?
Yeah, I think so.
100%.
He just wanted to start one so bad.
Yeah, I was like, all right, music. It's like it wasn't working out in my opinion at the time. So I was like, I just want to do something different. Because the huge reason why I like music is because there's so many outlets. Once you get to a certain point, like you can go into fashion, you can go into movies, like so. And that was my thing. I was a talented kid. Like I loved dancing, I loved acting. I was a part of my middle school dance team. I was acting for 3 years. I did musicals. I did just normal plays, whether that was outside of school and inside of school. And then I also just loved clothes when I was in high school. I got in my sewing class, loved learning how to sew with my teacher, all those things. And so with music, it's like, boom, I can start merchandise and I can do that. I can go dance and be like Chris Brown. I can go do movies like Ice Cube. Like there's so many things that I could do that hits every single one of my everything that I like doing. So that's why I like music so much. But at the time I was like, it's not working right now. So I'm just going to go do clothing.
Well, if there's anything about Kaygo, it's that he doesn't have patience. So
Zero.
like the music wasn't
My
working.
DMs say the same thing, by the way.
Yeah. The music wasn't working out fast enough. And so he wasn't getting as much as he wanted out of that. And so then he started the clothing brand and wanted me to be a part of it. So I, joined in with him. And then that didn't work out fast enough. So he dropped that brand and then he started music. It's just a whole back and forth. There's been like three clothing brands.
I didn't even come back to music yet. We stopped that brand. We started another one called Living No Regret because she's like, we had so much battle with it because me not explaining the meaning correct. Because she's like, if we're gonna go with this, you need to know the meaning. I was like, I don't want to do that. I want it to be like something that means like no regrets in your life. So then she's like, she thought that living no regrets. She was like, okay, go start your stupid brand that means nothing. That has like no meaning behind it.
No, that's literally not what happened.
A little bit.
No.
But I started Living No Regret, and then after that. Or at that time, I was like, okay, I really love music. I need to do something in it. So while I still had the clothing brand, I decided I'm going to become a manager for artists too. So, because I was like, I know a lot about music, at least at the time I thought I did. So I was like, I can manage an artist and I know how to do certain things. And I've been around and I've been watching how other artists are doing shit. So maybe I can take on an artist. So at least I'm still in it. And so that's what I did. And then there was a show one night at the Loading Docks before it closed down. I don't know if it reopened. Yeah, this was around the same time.
Are you talking about the show that I told you to start doing it or no?
No. Not that yet. Not yet.
Never mind.
It's we went to vend at this show because they're like, yeah, can we be a vendor? They're like, yeah, bring your clothing brand. You can sell. So we came. And it just went to shit, like the whole show. And so there was a guy by the name of Waters. He went around and he was just like, all right, you're performing. You're performing. Kaygo, you still know how to rap? Cool, you're performing. And I was like, I haven't rapped in so long. And I was like, I got no new songs. Like, I'm not trying to perform this shit. And then he's like, I don't care. You're getting on stage. All these people bought tickets. All these people are waiting for a show. But yet we've wasted 2 hours of time because the actual artists that were performing were going through like a whole beef thing. There was like someone was threatening to shoot up the place. Whole thing went crazy. So half the artists like dipped. So he was like, so he went outside grabbing random people off the street, like, who knows how to make music? Who's got music?
Oh my gosh.
so it was just like, we took over the show basically, which was kind of funny. And so when I hit the stage there, she comes up to me and she's like, you need to get back into music a little bit. Like, you look like you had a great time up there. And then I was like, maybe. And then I ignored that. And then I took on an artist, his name Tony Boy. Then we went to Caleb Miser's first show. He brought out Rucci, Jay Critch, and Shorty. And I went to that show, and it was at the complex. We were front row. She looked over, saw that I looked like a little baby, just like lit up, watching all the artists on stage. And she knew that I wasn't looking at that's Shorty, that's Jay Critch. She knew I was look at that stage. Look at that mic. I want to be up there. Like, she could tell that's what my mind said. She's like, and so did Tony Boy. They both looked at me and was like, don't manage anymore. Go make music. So I was like, all right. So then I came back to music, and this is when I came back, I stuck with it. So that's current now. So like 3 years ago, I believe, 3 years ago, I came back.
Yeah.
And then I did my second show with iBang Radio with Mr. Snow, and that was pretty cool. And then I stayed with iBang Radio for a while, and then after that, after doing show after show with him, I was like, okay, I want to do some. Like, I need bigger crowd. I want to get a bigger crowd. So there's this guy named DJ Caleb Harris who runs Overtime in Utah with another guy, and the other guy's named Steve-O. I go up to Caleb, and I'm like, how can I perform at your guys' events? You know, you guys have like thousands of people who pull up and everything. Like, if I got to change my music style, like if I got to rap on an EDM beat, like whatever, let me know. I will make sure my music fits in with what you guys play, so I could at least, and I just want one song. Whether I got to sell tickets, whether if I got to pay you, I don't care. Like, I just want to be shown. And he told me that having local artists at their events would never work, and
they would never allow it.
Yeah. And so that pissed me off. And so then I was like, all right, I'm going to just build my own. And that's when Real Raw Shit became a thing. And
what's Real Raw Shit?
Real Raw Shit is, at first, so there was multiple things that created it. At first, I wanted it to be like Wu-Tang, because I was watching the Wu-Tang series on Hulu. And I was like, oh yeah, that's dope. We don't have that anymore, like, really. So I'm gonna build Wu-Tang, but I'm gonna call it Real Raw Shit. So then I built Real Raw Shit. We were like 8 artists deep, and like we had producers and all these people together.
Almost like a collective vibe.
Like a huge collective at the time. And then that's how I wanted it ran. It was just like, we're gonna be in unison. I'm gonna get outfits made. We're gonna do this whole thing. And when people see us, they know, like, are you your Real Raw Shit? Like, that's how I wanted people to be. Very first, like, it's changed from how it was then to now. But that's how I wanted to be. And so then we threw our first event in March, and it was our Ride to the Rage event. It was a car meet mixed with a live show, and we had people pull up. It was, for my first show, I thought it was pretty successful for my first show, also with it being the worst weather possible. I think the only thing that failed was the cars pulling up, because they didn't want to drive their cars in the weather.
It was super snowy and stuff.
So we did that event, and then after that event, I was like, all right, I'm not seeing, some artists at the time I felt like weren't giving their all like I was, and I didn't like that. And so then we stopped. Like, I broke the artists, like it being like a collective thing, up, and we went to do a second event in the summer, and we were calling that the Takeoff. We had a guy that we were working with. He was like, I love what you do. Can I help in any way? I was like, well, we haven't got the venue yet, so that's one thing. But I wasn't trying to imply that he should help with that. He's like, boom, I got it. I'll pay for it. I was like, are you sure? He's like, yeah, I'll pay for it. Which now I know, use contracts when you're working with people. And don't trust everybody. Not everybody is actually what they seem. And so, you know, we're promoting this heavy. Lots of people wanted to come to this. And so when we got to 2 days before, I called the venue. I was like, did he ever pay you? And she's like, no. And I was like, oh, fuck. I was like, we're 2 days before, we have no venue, and she's not willing to wait any longer. So I got to cancel this event. So I canceled the event, told vendors, like, because we were charging for like vendor fees. So I was like, hey, I'm going to give you guys money back. I'm going to have to come out of pocket for it. So it might take a second. But like, I let them know before I even publicly canceled it. Like, I was just like, you guys, I'm going to get you your money back. And some guy, for some reason, thought that he just took it as like a scam. And I was like, if I was going to scam you, I would have blocked every single one of you. And like,
it does give scam feels though, right? They don't know you.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Right? And if you give somebody your money, you expect to get something back. I feel like you have a lot of, listening to your story, you have a lot of learning lessons, right?
100%.
And the cool thing about this is that you have an opportunity to build your reputation right now. You know, because in a small, we're as big as Utah is. The 1% of doing what you're doing, the 1% that's in this community of entertainment and the field that we're doing it in, your name's all you got, right?
Exactly.
So when you pull up to that show at Loading Dock and it's going to shit, that promoter has just their name. So if I tie that name to that event, it's gonna be a shitty event, right? If you tie your name to a certain brand and that brand goes to shit, you only get one reputation. So now's the time to fucking capitalize on it. Take all those learning lessons and do the shit the right way.
Oh, 100%. And that's what we did. Because after we got that cleared up, it took us about like 2-3 months to get it cleared up. But after we got that cleaned up, I was like, all right, I'm gonna do one more event. I'm gonna do it the right way. I know what to do. So we did it at the Rise in Provo, Utah. It was just like
that was recent, right?
Not that one.
Oh, okay.
We've done multiple there now.
Yeah, we love the guy who works over there, Richard. He's an awesome guy. He's always trying to work with me. He's like, keep doing them here. We'll give you best price. So I was like, hell yeah, okay. I'll keep doing it. But so we did one there. That one, it was just like a free event because I wanted to make up to people who bought tickets and stuff. And so I was telling vendors, like, come, you don't have to pay to vend. Like, I want to make up to everything that happened because that shouldn't have happened.
That's good business.
So I was like, vendors, come, bring your products. People, come for free. Artists, you know, let's give them a show. Let's make sure everybody has fun. So we threw a free event. I feel like where people didn't feel like because they didn't have to buy tickets, they didn't really try to show up. But we still had a crowd there that showed up, a pretty good crowd. And, you know, it was fun. So, and then I just stopped. So after that one, I was like, all right, boom, I'm going to build the Real Raw Shit tour, which is we're going to hit 3 different cities in the state. We're going to go to Ogden, Utah. We're going to go to Provo, Utah. We're going to go to Salt Lake City. And so I'm going to sit back and I'm just going to build this and I'm just going to learn and I'm going to watch how everybody else operates while I'm building this tour. This like Utah mini tour.
You're currently building this?
No, I already did that. I did it in
Okay.
January. So,
can I question?
Yes.
Real Raw Shit. Are you tied down to that name? Is that a name that you're married to? The only reason why I ask is because it's hard for me to promote Real Raw Shit. The word shit is gonna get flagged. It's gonna get shadow banned so hard.
Yeah, when I go, usually depending on where I'm at, I usually just say RS.
Okay.
RS Global.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm gonna get the LLC changed to RS Global because at first I was like, yeah, this is what I want. I'm standing on that, but I was like, yeah, there's a little problems with that, so I'm gonna change it to RS Global.
And I think about your community, right? I think about your parents. If that 13, 16-year-old kid is like, Mom, Dad, can I go see Real Raw Shit?
Exactly.
They're gonna be the same way your parents were, even
100%.
though you got a different message. You know what I mean? Your music, you know what I mean? Like it could be for everybody. Parents are gonna be like, nah, Real Raw Shit, nah, like what?
Especially in this state, which is what we've kind of figured out. So,
but there's subliminals, right? Like, abbreviation
exactly.
Or whatever it is. Sorry, so I
no, all good.
Stop.
No, most definitely, that's a valid question to ask. But yeah, usually because like we just go around just saying like RS Global when we're talking like strict like business with people that may not want to hear that. So we're just like, yeah, RS Global is what we go by. And then when they ask, we tell them, yeah, that's it. But we have that rebellious, strong name to let people know, like, that's the message I want to get. Like, I want to let you know that we're real, we're raw, and like, we're going to do the coolest shit. Like, we don't, there's so many fake people in these small underground scene of local artists. Like, it's so bad. And so it's just like, I want to build this community that people are like, okay, I know everything that's saying is going to happen. And I know that when I get a part of this, I'm safe. So,
you create the tour?
Yeah. So during the tour, or not during the tour, as I'm creating it, there's a guy named by Lebo Tracks. He comes out here sometimes and he does like, he goes to like all these states in America, just goes all over this place. And he does like a tour, and local artists, pay to get on it and stuff like that. And so he comes to Utah. I go to Hype Man for Still Undefeated, because sometimes I just, sometimes if I'm not going to perform, I'll go Hype Man. I don't care. It's fun. So I go to Hype Man for Still Undefeated. But my number one thing was, okay, while I'm here, I'm going to ask all these artists questions. What's wrong in the underground scene? What needs to be fixed? Artists are telling me about artist fees, people are charging way too much for artist fees for a crowd that's not worth $600 or things like that. And so I'm like, okay, that's good to know. I'm being told that people are getting charged to get their face on a flyer or their name on the flyer, like just crazy stuff. And I'm like, okay. And also other things, just other little things that I was told. I was like, okay, so I'm gonna take that into building this tour. So when I go to build this tour, I want to make sure artists are like, I had a great time. There was, no matter what, you're gonna have an issue, but the majority was, I had a great time. And so we get to January. I also was trying to learn more about marketing and promoting, because my whole thing that I changed it from was being a collective to we're an events business. And so my whole thing was like, okay, I'm gonna learn how to market. What I want to do is, my job is to build a community around RS and to have people be like, okay, I'm going to an RRS show where there's going to be majority of people. Because as we're underground artists and local, people are like, I don't really care to go see Kaygo the Kid. Like, who is he? You know what I mean?
I'm very confused on this, because you say RRS global, but then you say underground. Underground can't be global, right? So can it?
Global is the goal. So
shouldn't that be the mindset?
100%. Because I have global in the name because I want to take it global. And I want to start moving it out of state. So like next year, you know what I mean? Because I'm just trying to dominate the state, see what I can do here locally, see what I can help and put my foot in. And then I'm going to start taking it out of state. But first, I feel like I need to do my job and do my part in the community here first.
Well, I think like the global is like, we want to do shows globally, but I think the artists as individuals are underground. Like, we're not having huge artists, we're having underground artists, but we want to do our shows globally, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I feel you.
So the people are underground, but the business is not necessarily underground. So if the business is global, we can bring more people to the underground artists.
And then make them global.
Do you find it being challenging to both? Because I keep hearing the notion, the story for you is have fun, right? Mm-hmm. You keep saying that, but is it hard to have fun and also be business minded?
To me, no.
Because to me, business minded means you're gonna support your wife and your son off of what you're doing, right? And sometimes it's hard to do both, right? You ask yourself, why do promoters charge for artists to come on their show? Why are these guys charging for certain things, right?
Oh yeah, and it's understandable. And I feel like there's certain things where, because this is my thing, right? I charge for artist fees too, but I put that straight into venue costs. I put that straight into running ads, Facebook ads, marketing, promotion, merchandise, just everything to bring people out. Versus some people that I know, that's how they make their money. I don't make my money off that. I make my money off ticket sales. I don't make my money off of artists.
But that's not up to the artist though, because you putting money into your business. That's not the artist's worry.
What do you mean?
So if I pay you, let's say, Dre, you can come host the show, but you have to pay $200. I'm not worried about what you do with my $200. I'm worried about getting my spot.
Oh yeah.
Right? I don't care if you're putting it into paying the tortilla lady that has the taco truck outside.
Well, I think like for us, we've noticed that with other like tours and like people that the artists are criticizing, it's that they didn't spend money on marketing or promotion or flyers. So we want to tell them, like, we're not just taking your money to take your money. We're taking your money, like, we're charging fees because without that, we wouldn't be able to. We put money into Facebook ads. We put money into SLC scoop posts. We put money into physical flyers, you know. Like, we try to make it something so it's like we're using your money to make like the show you're performing on bigger. So we're trying to build that trust to be like, we're not going and eating sushi with your money. We're reinvesting your money into you to make this event big, to get your face out there.
That makes sense. If I'm an artist and I see my money, if I pay you and I'm not seeing my face, I'm not seeing no post, and I'm the one doing all the promoting, I see it, right? So
that's another thing too, right? Our job is to bring a crowd to you. So of course we're going to be on your ass and be like, promote the event, bring your people, but we're going to also bring people that don't know who you are on top of your people. So that way it can be a big show for you to get your face out there. You're going to, one, impress your fans because they're going to be like, who are all these people showed up to come see this? And then you're also going to have new faces that are like, okay, impress me. So that's our job. That's what we want to do, or not even what we do. Wanting to do. That's what we've been doing the whole tour. You know, we brought out people ourselves to come see these artists, and you know, artists have of course brought people themselves. They're able to also make money back off of ticket sales. I know there's some people out there that's like, oh yeah, you can make money off of ticket sales, and they give you like a small percentage, so it's like almost impossible. No, like I try to
$2 a ticket.
Yeah, I'm like, no, $5, because instead of selling 2 people and getting $4, you get $10. Like, I want to make it easier. And, you know, depending on where things go, because here's another thing too. What I want to do is move to a point where I saved enough money off of ticket sales as well to start saying, I don't need your guys' money. Just come perform for free. And we'll handle everything. Because I know what it's like before I had the business and everything. I know what it's like trying to get people to come see you. It is the hardest thing, especially when nobody knows you, and to build that trust with people. And I noticed like with event companies, like they're also able to bring people because they're like, I know that company. I'm a fan of the company, not what they bring out necessarily. I'm a fan of the community that's there. And so that's my whole thing, is I'm trying to build a community, and we've been doing that to the point where it's just like people just like to come and see underground artists, see local artists do their thing and support them on top of local artists bringing out their people. And that's the goal, is to move to no artist fees, just come perform and show your talent to a wide variety of a crowd. But we have these artist fees now because it's just like, okay, because I don't have the necessarily the funds to do it. I don't got no loans to be able to go get a loan and stuff like that right at the moment. So it's like, this is how I'm able to pay for the venue. This is how I'm able to use your money to run it into ads. So that way your face is getting seen. We also have like a news page, like our own little news page. Cause we know like pages like SLC Scoop and some other Utah pages, they don't promote that at all. Like, unless you're paying for it. No, I will promote local artists on that page. So there's a community of people, you know, who say, because there's people out there who like, I like local artists. I like coming to that. They just don't know it exists because it's so small right now, at least here in Utah. When we ran ads and people saw our ad, they messaged me saying, this is a thing in Utah. Like, I go out of state to go see this. And so just the exposure opportunity that we offer is like just awesome compared to what, of course there's better out there, and 100%, but for what we charge and what we offer, it's the best deal you're going to find. And that's because I've asked as many people as I could, what are you getting charged? What are they offering you? Okay, boom, I'm going to do that better. And I'm going to find a way that I'm still, because at the same time, yes, I got to take care of my family. So I'm going to find a way where I'm still taking care of my family, but I'm also not fucking over artists, because I know what it's like to be fucked over, and it's not cool. And that's the whole thing that we've been doing. And that's where we move from, okay, we're moving from collective to, okay, we're going to move to help all these artists.
Is it worth it?
to me, it's 100% worth it. I enjoy every bit of it. Of course, there's stressful times where you ask the question, where is it hard to have fun while being in the business mindset? That's the thing. Growing up as well, like I loved business. Like I just watching my dad do business and stuff. Like I'm like, okay, if I don't like music don't work, I'm owning my own business. So when I'm doing it, even while I'm stressed, like I'm having a great time at the same time. It's weird.
What about you, Moccah? Is it worth it? Or are you just a supportive wife?
I'm mainly just supportive. I think his happiness is worth it. Would this be like my personal lifestyle? Absolutely not. But like if my husband's happy, then I'm happy. If my family's supported, then I'm good.
Are you sick of podcasts that just interview people with the same questions and gossiping nonsense?
Are you tired of hearing about what's wrong with the world? Can you locate your nearest orphanage?
Who cooked the Last Supper?
R.I.P. Mr. Potato Head.
Seppuku Harakiri.
Where is Mavis Beacon?
This is Hos.
And this is host Beefy.
Listen to the Beans and Rice podcast.
Exclusively in Braille and all streaming platforms.
Patent pending.
Hey, yo, you're probably listening to the Unrestricted Podcast with DreRawka.
We are?
No, they are.
Yeah. Oh, right.
Oh, wow.
And I'm the real Ruby. You can catch me and Fonzie and the
Defunct.
G-Daddy Funk on Lake Talk 801 Podcast.
Yeah, but I think you have to come in more smoother, more funnier. Like, yeah, they could catch us on the Lake Talk 801 podcast.
Yeah, y'all can catch us on Lake Talk 801.
Yeah, and be like, and yeah, man, hey, and they could catch people like me, the real Ruby, and people like you, Fonzie, and people like him, G-Daddy Funk,
Wow,
on
that's
the
a
Lake
lot of
Talk
people.
801. Who cares?
What did he say?
Huh?
I didn't hear him.
I don't know, but
Why-
this probably should be the ad.
Are these on?
Catch a new episode every Monday on all streaming platforms. The Lake Talk 801. Tune in now.
Do you feel like how much of you goes into your music today?
A lot.
So you're doing a lot on your own music and you're able to balance both?
Oh yeah, 100%. I'm able to, when it comes to my music, like I'm doing fine. Like that's another thing too. What I've noticed behind the scenes, because once you make all your posts, once you run all the ads, you know, you just kind of sit there, you kind of wait for something to come up, for something to happen.
Who? You?
Yeah.
Why you sit on your hands? Create.
Oh, well, no. I mean, like when it comes to like the business side, like,
okay,
like after I'm done creating everything for the business and the marketing for that, then it's like, okay, that's done. I have to wait till something happens, like a ticket sale comes through or somebody has a question, or I gotta, think of what we're gonna do to market some more. And then after all that's done, then I'm gonna go do my music stuff. And then I go post my music on TikTok. I'll post my music on Reels, and I'll handle that. Right now, I'm trying to work on like a new EP and stuff like that. But right now, I'm just mostly promoting old songs on TikTok right now because I know there's still people who haven't heard my music on TikTok. So I'm still continuously do that. I've ran up my streams on my old songs, new songs. So, and on the side, like another job I do is like I'll TikTok live stream. And so, I gain some fans and supporters off of live streaming on TikTok, and that just brings more people to my TikTok, and they're like, oh, you make music too? I thought you were just a live streamer. And then they go listen to my music, and then I gain more. So like I got a huge fan base in Texas. But yeah.
Have you been out to Texas?
No, I've never been to Texas.
Why not?
Just haven't had the money yet. And
well, that's kind of where I'm curious, because you make good music, you have an ear for it. Mm-hmm. Me as somebody that don't know you, just a guy here, an old man, I'm thinking, why don't he just go 100% into his own music instead of putting on a show for other people? I get it, you want to help the community, but why not put that money into doing you and wifey go out to Texas and meet some people in Texas? If you got a big following out there, get on a show in Texas.
And that's the thing too, is with the shows, like I'm on them too. Like I perform at them too. It's not just like,
it's different if you're reaching other people, especially people that you have a following for.
I think from my perspective, I think your music has been put on the back burner a little bit. I mean, I've kind of even gotten you on your ass about it because I support you and your music more than, anything else, because that's been your dream. But I think like where the business comes in is like personally, like we just had a kid, we don't have the money to do the stuff for his personal music. If we can make this blow up, like the RRS and like that business blow up, that will give us the funds to do what we need to do for his music. And that's gotten us closer than anything else has.
I just say err with caution. I think as an artist, you have an opportunity to make music. If you can go get on a show and you can have your wife set up the merch booth and you guys can sell your fucking single shirts or whatever, you could do your own shirts, and then boom, you can make money off of that, versus a show where you're coming out of pocket on a lot of these shows to make business right? It's a learning curve both ways. I hope that you don't lose who you are.
Most definitely.
I'll tell you what, as soon as I got selfish, and my friend Waldo, he can attest to this. Once I got selfish and was like, nah, I'm going to start my podcast, I'm going to do this shit myself, I seen a lot of growth within my own opportunities, right? And there comes a point in as a creative, you have to get selfish, especially if you believe in yourself. So don't ever lose yourself, because it's gonna come tricky.
100%. Because this is my thing too, is that it's hard to get on other shows sometimes. Before I even had the business, it was hard for me to get on shows, and so
what's hard about it?
They charge like $600.
Like whether the fee is too much for me to pay, like I can't afford that because it's like I got to pay my rent. Like some fees are like literally my rent money to pay, and I was like, I can't do that. Like I don't, I don't have the funds for that, and it's also hard to.
I'm wondering what shows you're going to, because there's a lot of shows out here that won't charge you a thing as long as they see you work. And if you have the right, how many artists and how many promoters and how many venue owners do you go and have lunch with?
Artists, I have lunch with a lot of artists, but when it comes to venue owners, not much. Not really.
You need to tap in with the DJs. How many DJs are there's nightclubs all up and down the street on Pierpont? How many of those DJs have you went and sat down and had dinner with?
So that's another thing. I'm also 20. I'm not old enough to go. That's another thing where, because like once I hit 21 in August, that's when I'm gonna start doing all that things.
You need to do that now. You need to build those relationships now, because there are shows that are of all ages, right? There's opportunities that will come there's Utah Urban Arts Festival. Have you applied for that?
I didn't even know about that.
See, these are things that I feel like you could be doing as an artist. You put your head down, you focus as yourself as an artist. Go talk to these DJs, because if August comes, you already built the foundation, right? You built the foundation between now and then. Now you can, hey, do you mind if I come perform my latest single in the middle of a club? Boom. Now you're performing your songs inside nightclubs. And if you do one song, you do it at 10 o'clock. Oh, let me jet over to the next club. Let me perform that same song, same night. Boom. Now you're getting more people to just see your face and be around. So don't think that you always have to throw your own show. A lot of this is relationships. And there's a lot of people that are making moves, especially DJs, that can put you in positions to just grow your brand bigger. So think outside of just having to throw your own show. Mix, mingle, have lunch, have dinner, create real relationships. You know what I mean? One thing that I always tell, especially younger artists, is, you're only 20 years old, bro. I'm literally old enough to be your father. One thing that I would recommend is introducing yourself. You know what I mean? Hey, my name's Kaygo. This is what I'm doing. This is how long I've been doing it. I want to build relationships with people. This is what I'm trying to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I feel like from my experience of trying to do that, I don't know why I've always failed.
Well, you didn't even introduce yourself to me. You're like, yo, I want to be on the pod. I want to get my music on the radio. You weren't even like, Dre, I'm Kaygo the Kid.
Yeah.
I'm a new father. I see you're a father. You know what I mean? Build that connection that way.
Most definitely.
You know what I mean? If I just come up to a random person on the side of the street, I'm like, yo, I'm a podcaster. I do a podcast. Listen to my podcast. And I'm like, well, one, what's your name? Who are you? You know what I mean? So just my advice is always to go genuine. Maybe you didn't do that before. Maybe you did. I think that you have there's opportunity for people to grow together. And I think your heart's in the right place because I see that in you. You're touching all these different things in your life that you want to do. You get inspired, you jump. Now I think that you use that motivation, use that inspiration, and fucking do that shit for yourself. Fuck the past. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've tried it. You're also young, bro. Like, you're young. You're 20 years old. Very young. Mm-hmm. This is all learning. We're all learning this shit together.
Exactly. And, I tried different approaches because, where I've tried the genuine approach before and I didn't have luck with it, I'm like, okay, now I just got to talk my shit and just be like, let me do it. Just like, that's what I thought I had to do. So, that's like we're the example with you, right? That's where I was like, all right, maybe I got to just say like, let me be on it and just like talk my shit a little bit and act like I'm this guy. Maybe I could be more important if I do it that way. Cause I've tried the genuine way and just being rejected that way is just, it got to me. And so it's just like, okay, I'm seeing people with like, that I know that is like high egos, like way, like really bad, talk a certain way. So I'm like, maybe that's how I got to be because it's working for them. They're getting on the shit. So I tried that approach and,
Who? Put a name on that bullet.
I don't want to put a name on that bullet.
Another thing too, Kaygo, is are you familiar with DJ Bangarang?
No, I've not heard of him.
So DJ Bangarang, see, that's what I'm talking about. He's one of the biggest things in the city. Like, this dude, he travels to San Diego. He does a lot of things, and he brings a lot of artists to the biggest clubs in Utah.
Okay.
This is my bro, like my man's. And we were talking, and he was like, Dre, 99% of business is done face to face, right? It's not done on a DM. As soon as I see a DM that says, yo, put me on, I don't even read the whole message. As soon as I see that and I don't say, hey, my name is blah, blah, blah. I'm from the old school where you introduce yourself to somebody, right?
Yeah.
It's the same thing with this, right? You're be around the people, because if you were to run into me, I post, hey, I'm gonna be doing a pop-up at Volkswagen Southtown or whatever, and you pull up and you're like, hey, Dre, nice to meet you, man. My name is Kaygo. This is what I'm doing. I'm more likely to give you a date right then and there because I met you. I felt your energy. You can't feel energy in a DM. So get out, get off the porch, go out here,
100%.
brush shoulders, go to the farmer's market, do family shit. You're a family man. Do family shit.
100%.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. And like I said, these are things that I've tried, and maybe I didn't try it enough. You know what I mean? And that's what maybe I just keep. That's where I failed, because obviously I have a patience issue, and so maybe that's where I need to slow down and just be like, keep trying that way. Someone will respect that.
Yeah, you're gonna find your tribe.
And at the time where it just wasn't working, I was like, okay, I gotta try something else. That's not the way to do it no more. So that's where my mindset was like, okay, this is not working, try something else. This is not working, try something else until it works.
Are you honest to yourself?
Sometimes no.
Be honest to yourself. I'll tell you what. It's the same thing with getting the girl, right? They say the nice guy finished last, right? But the nice guy shouldn't conform into being an asshole, because now you're changing your character. Mm-hmm. Stay who you are. Stay who you are. An example of that, I had now he's a friend of mine, an artist right here in Davis County. His name's Schaefer. And Schaefer is a bow hunting white boy that's an EMT.
Okay.
He goes up in the mountains and he shoots deers, but he's a dope rapper. This dude was featured on Joe Rogan, the biggest platform in the world.
Yeah, I heard of that.
Joe Rogan played his song, and he didn't have to fucking change who he was. When he comes up here, we talk about life. We talk. Exactly. He's a bow hunter. I don't know shit about bow hunting, but I'm fascinated. Be who you are. Just because somebody doesn't, answer a DM or whatever, don't change. I gotta talk my shit. You know what I mean? What shit do you have to talk? Like, you have to get your accomplishments first before you can talk shit.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So don't change who you are. Be who you are, because it's gonna happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and people
I feel you 100%.
People are in different places in life. When you first reached out to me, April of 23, I was a totally different vibe on my show. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
So things change. In EDM, the producer might have reached out to you, like, nah, I ain't making country. I ain't making this type of music. But a year later, maybe you are up to making a country song. You know what I mean? So be who you are. Don't change who you are. And I guarantee you're going to see results.
Yeah, and that's one thing that I've just been trying to get a good grasp on. You know what I mean? I forget to, sometimes I get in my head so much that I just like, I definitely like 100%. I just change who I am for a minute because it's like, you know what I mean? I feel like I gotta watch how people act, and when I'm around people, and I get told stuff from certain people that I'm like, okay, boom, I'm gonna try that. And so it's just like, but maybe what they're telling me is actually who they are at the same time. And so that's where I'm going wrong, is that maybe that's them being themselves when they're saying try this, even though that's just them being them, and that's truly who they are. And that's me thinking that, oh, they're putting on a face too, so maybe that's what I gotta do, even though that's probably not their face. And I think that's where I get things mixed up, and I end up trying other things. But most definitely, like, just getting on here at the same time and just getting to talk to you and get to express like who I am in my life, like it is like a huge refreshment for me to just like talk like that and talk to someone about that, because sometimes it feels like I can't talk to certain people like that. And
because you're in this bubble, you're in this circle.
Exactly.
Do you know the history of Utah hip hop?
No.
You got to get off the porch, bro. There's a rich history of music out here, and there's a rich history of people that have done certain things, and you can learn from history, right?
Yeah.
You can learn from certain things, the way certain businesses were done and things like that. So I highly recommend, man, like, now you have I'm just me, man. I'm too old to fucking the face that you get is what you get with me, man. I'm a father, a podcaster, and a spouse. Like, my wife, like, she knows who I am, and my kids know who I am, and my community knows who I am. What you see is what you get. And I just want people to succeed. And when I see somebody like you, fuck the music, you're a father. That's where it starts. You're a father and you're a spouse. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
That's what you need to fucking make sure is good. You make sure they're good, and you chase your dreams along the way. You got a loving, supporting wife. A lot of people don't have that. A lot of people are trying to fucking live two lives. You have yours right next to you, right beside you. Take advantage of that. Listen to her. You know what I mean? Slow things down. When you're getting antsy, slow things down. There's this middle part of life that I've learned to live. You don't live super high. You don't live super low. You ride this line. And I'll tell you, bro, like, you're going to see things in your life going in a direction that you probably don't even see yourself right now.
Oh, yeah, 100%. 100%. And 100%. There's nothing else to it.
Did you ever get your dreads?
Nah. I ain't get no dreads.
You didn't even get your braids?
I tried it out. I get them from time to time, but that's just like hair growth, just trying to like stretch my hair out and stuff.
I was sitting here the whole time like, did he ever get his dreads?
We've tried. They just don't lock fast enough for his patience.
The locking process is a terrible process for me.
I gotta wrap up. I got another interview coming in, but go ahead, hit your socials. Where can people follow you? Any upcoming shows? Blah blah blah.
Oh yeah, so yeah, y'all guys can follow me at Kaygo The Kid on every single platform there is: Spotify, Apple Music, Instagram, Snapchat, YouTube, TikTok, everything you can type Kaygo The Kid, you can type me there and find me as well. We are working on a show April 6th. It's going to be another underground show. It's going to be one for the books. It's going to be very fun. We're going to have a lot of local talent, including myself on that event.
Vendors.
Exactly.
Local
Vendors are going to be there, and they're going to be showcasing their amazing products that they work very hard to put their own time and their own money into making. So please come support them, support the artists that are working their asses off every single day trying to get their face out there. And yeah, just join the RS movement.
What's Kaygo?
Kaygo is, so I made the name when I was in the wilderness program, and Kaygo it's part of the patience thing. It's just K-go. So that's basically the whole thing behind it. It's like that simple. I had like millions of different rapper names, but that one, I went to change it again to like Kenny Chrome.
I told them to change it back.
She said no.
Kenny Chrome?
I literally said, you are not doing music if you do not change your name back to Kaygo The Kid.
Do we drop the kid now you have a kid?
I like the kid because that's also another one of my things is that I want to be able to be a kid still and have fun in life, but still take care of my adult responsibilities.
Okay.
He's a kid at heart. It fits.
I think a lot of us are, right? I think that's when you have creativity. There's a great movie called Inside Out.
Love that movie.
It's a great movie, and it proves that we go through all these emotions, but we still hold this like thing of kidness that we'll always have. Like there's people in there in your head, and you're gonna get the angry, you're gonna get the anxiety, you're gonna get the depression, but there's always gonna be that kid that you have to find through all of that bullshit.
Exactly.
Because at the end of the day, dog, like we all have an expiration date. What are you gonna do before that expiration date?
Exactly.
And to think about what people think, to think about what others are doing, it's not going to do you any good. I learned that, and ever since then, bro, I'm telling you, it changes your life. Because fuck, man, one trip around this bitch, man, make it worth it.
Oh yeah.
So definitely go out to the show. Is there a website? Where can we learn more about the show?
RealRawShit.com. You can find it there. You can also follow us on Instagram, Real Raw Shit Global. And or if you know an artist that's working with us or a vendor that might be working with us, tap in with them and ask them questions. We're trying to get ourselves more out there, where you'll see an ad here in the next few weeks. So find the ad. That's usually on Instagram.
Who's your DJ for the April show?
DJ Still Undefeated. Shouts out Undefeated. He's a great musician, and he just started doing DJing on the side. And, he has great energy. At our recent show we just did, everybody loved him. He knew how to keep the vibes going and keep people entertained. So he's a great DJ. He's going to come through. It's going to keep you guys entertained and hyped for the entire event. So definitely come see him.
Dope. I know I'm trying to wrap this show up, but I know you're tapped into the younger guys and gals. Who should we be looking out for?
You need to be looking out for Hey Money, great artist. Joshua Brown, hell of an artist. You know what I mean? We've got, let's see, let me think.
Are these all Utah County artists?
These are not Utah County. They're all over.
Oh, okay.
All over. We got West Valley, like one of them. Jay Walk 'em Down. He lives right down the street from me. He's fire. You've got Sad Boy Somber. If you're trying to get back to that Juice WRLD vibe, that's that guy.
Is he ever happy?
Oh yeah, he's happy. Every time I see him, he comes in happy.
Real happy guy, not real happy music. It's a vibe though.
Why are you so sad?
Yeah, but all these artists, man, and there's a ton more that will be at the event that you'll see, and you're not gonna like everybody you see, but you'll definitely leave saying I had fun and I got to meet some pretty dope artists.
You'll at least find someone you love. I can guarantee you that.
But most definitely, like Joshua Brown, Hey Money, Junior Cruz. Love Junior Cruz. Love his music. He talks a lot about like his family and his struggles and his grandma and stuff like that. Like real heart to heart. Like when you listen to it, you feel like you're being told a story, and that's what I love about his music. Junior Cruz is also someone who works with artists as well, and he does his thing. But yeah, those are the main artists that I would say to be on the lookout for.
Dope.
Younger wise. Older wise, I gotta say, shouts out to Still Undefeated, goes crazy, love his music. You got J23, he's hard. You've got Murderous T. You got where's in there? It's on the top of my tongue.
AK Lead the Way.
AK Lead the Way. But I wouldn't say necessarily he's Utah based. He's from New York.
He's from New York, but he pops out in Utah a lot. He's fine.
Yeah, you love that guy. And then you got, there's like one more like on the top of my head. I forgot this name. Sorry. I'm pretty sure if you know who you are, you know who you are. But I'm gonna give the shout out to someone else. Shouts out to MG DeGotis. I've been watching what he's been doing a lot. He's ever since he got back out of, I think it was jail maybe, but when he got out, man, he came back hard. Yeah. It was the hardest comeback I see. The bro's just running shit right now. So shouts out to him. He's going fucking silly in the scene right now. So yeah, those are some older guys that are older than me, that's been doing it longer than me, that I gotta say shouts out to them. They're making moves right now. Oh, Mike Styles, shouts out Mike Styles. Bro's giving me a lot of tips. Kind of the same thing, go out to the clubs and stuff like that, find someone who might sneak you in and get connected with people. So shouts out to him. He's given me a lot of tips, and he has not hesitated once to respond to a message and like give me the best advice.
He's a great artist to get advice from. He has a lot of experience, and he's
Mm-hmm.
phenomenal.
Exactly. Love Mike Styles, man.
Dope.
When he hits the stage, it's like pop star. I love it.
I told him, I was like, he has it.
Yeah.
He has the star quality. You know, that's the thing, man. It's just you got to keep your head down, keep working. Mocha, anything you want to shout out? No.
Shouts out Mocha Reads. Go follow her reading page. If you guys like books, you know what I mean?
Fucking nerd.
Yes, I am a fucking nerd.
Are you a fantasy or what?
I kind of want to get into fantasy. Kind of just anything, honestly. I love history books too, so
Hell yeah.
just whatever.
Dope. Well, I appreciate you guys coming through. April 2nd is the show.
Or 6th. April 6th.
Oh, April 6th. Sorry about
Yes,
that.
sir.
April 6th. Go check it out. It's at Rise, right?
Yes, we're planning it for it to be at the Rise in Provo.
All right. Did you guys pay?
We're talking to him Monday.
We
gotta
will
talk to-
pay. We got it.
Yeah,
We got it.
He told
Yes.
me he wants to talk Monday about some details and figure it all out because we're gonna get him paid. We're gonna
We
get him
never
paid.
do that shit again. We'll come out of our own pocket before anything.
I stopped. After that day, I was like, nobody's paying the venue for me. I'm paying the venue. I'm getting that work done.
As always, if you want to support the channel, make sure you go on to allrock.com, ALLRAWK. Follow me on Instagram at DreRawka, DRERAWKA. If you can't, and you know, maybe funds are a little low, you can't buy a t-shirt, share this content. Share the content, get the word out, tell the people about the good folks across from me making things happen for their community. And I hope you guys have the day you deserve. Always protect your light. We out. Peace. Mocha, what'd you have for breakfast?
Chick-fil-A.
Polynesian sauce or no?
Oh,
Damn, you don't like Polynesians?
Well,
You got show it. I thought about that for a second. I was like, damn.
I was like, wait a damn second.
Cool, I think we're good now. All right.